New Minivan Musician.
Welcome to Minivan Musician.
My artistry will be around long after I'm in the ground. And one person feels what I said I have purpose. It was.
This is Minivan Musician, episode 18.
Yep.
So, before we get started, you want listeners to check out something in particular?
Yeah, real quick, make sure you go check out the most recent Griselda Freestyle Friday. I'll link to it right about here, as long as you two don't screw me over again. It's a lot of people's favorites. Those that have seen it, they really like it. And honestly, I really loved rhyming on that premiere beat. It's the headliner's track. Griselda recently ripped a premiere joint, and the beat was online. I was like, fuck it, ran with it. It's a little more upbeat than usual. So if you like the Griselda Freestyle Fridays, but you usually kind of like, all right, this shit's kind of dark, blah, blah, blah. Did it a little different this time. So check it out.
So, before we talk about a little controversial stuff, yippee, you have some collabs coming up. So, a local one that's like a reunion, kind of?
Yeah, me and FaZe Blue Lagoon gonna do a track again.
Shout out to FaZe.
What up, though? We've done a million shows together. We've done tracks together in the past. I'll link to those in the comments if I can find them. It's been some years, and we both working real hard right now, working extra hard during this like shutdown thing. So we hitting them with the bars again. We hitting them with the. I think it's just the right time for us to just put the work in, put something out there. I'm hyped about it. He's sending me the beat tonight. I know that cat since back in, a long time ago when we was rapping it like practically empty raves and shit together. So it's going to be dope. I'm going to keep all that in mind when I spit the verse and put a lot of history together in it.
Do you have like a snippet of one or something?
Yeah, well, I'm also doing something with the homie Hurst. That's an out-of-state connect.
Mm-hmm.
He do a lot of stuff kind of for the juggalos and shit like that, but I feel like a lot of people will really dig his YouTube channel, which I'll link to. And I don't never link to nobody else's channel in our videos, so I'll do that right here. And his crew, Buckshit Records. I'm doing something for a mixtape with them too, but be on the lookout for the Hurst featuring Verb. I think everybody be entertained by what he does. Plus, he's branching off into different subgenres of music now, so that'll be dope. And with the homie CPG.
Shout out Chris, that's my friend.
Yeah, he sent me some
nice
joints.
Sneak.
And God, one of them, since I'm doing the Infamous Mob mixtape, it was like perfect. It was perfect timing. I gave y'all a verse from that upcoming mixtape last week. This right here is a track with him. It's still in the beginning stages, but my little 16 is done. I think you're going to like it, so check it out.
Night Sneak and Austin Found. Shout out to y'all because you're my family.
Yup.
I slap the cup out your hands, tell your little homie capture that and stun on the gram, make them so nervous they get napped with they burners pulling their cheddar for sure. It's nightclub, Plaxico Burris make me laugh. I'm Steve Smith, my turn for recognition, word are in the person. I've been sitting planning since the Bulls turned to current pimping. Hood colorblind when it glanced to die. Got white boys in prison who think Odin is actually God. The massive barrage of classics is odd, make a mask put them on. Only doses of reality make me scratch out my songs. I kill a rapper right here, leave him spilling on the carpet, but I'd rather let him live in constant misery and hardship.
So, the next topic involves me, our kids, some friends, blah, 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 blah. Let's talk the world locking down and the, ever-present topic that is the corona fucking COVID-19 fucking bullshit-ass fucking disease shit, whatever.
I'm not laughing at nobody that got it.
I'm just sick of hearing the damn fucking shit, that's
I'm
all.
laughing at her trying to say the name. Honestly, it's actually called, there's a technical name for it. It involves the actual
the
acronym
novel
of
coronavirus.
SARS. Yeah, but it's also got SARS in its name because that's what it is, upper respiratory. But, yeah, so I believe that shit was here far before we're being told that it was here. And this beside the point of China supposedly having been trying to rush and do something to stop it back in October. I'm speaking from a personal standpoint. Our situation, I believe it was me first. Identical symptoms. Yeah, it was. I put it this way: I ain't took a day off of work in at least a year for being sick. I took a day off, and I had a 3-day weekend that week, so I took 4 days off in a row. Basically, couldn't do shit.
This was back in like what, December, January?
It was the very beginning of January.
Yeah.
And I had already fought off whatever it was once. I do the whole immune boosting thing and all of that, because I have a compromised immune system. So I had it. I believed that it was COVID-19. All the symptoms match, perfectly. From the first time I ever felt a little under the weather, that time period is about the same. I kept telling myself it was something else. But at that time, I was told that it's not bacterial, it's a viral infection, but it's not the flus that people are able to get vaccinated for and that they test for. Like they told me, there's 4 or 5 or whatever that they treat, each year. And this didn't fit into those. So in other words, they're basically saying this is a viral infection, this is a flu, but not the flus we're used to. And then so fast forward a very short amount of time,
Micah got sick.
Micah got real sick, crazy fever.
104.
Yeah, 104.
Yeah.
And then even the hospital could only
2
get it down
ER
to
visits.
yeah, the first one.
They tested him for the flu. Negative.
No flu.
No strep.
No strep.
They sent us home and told us to basically do nothing.
Yeah,
it was viral.
Yeah, it was viral, but not
kind.
the flu again. And at the same time, a bunch of his classes wiped out. They're telling anybody who has kids that have
He'd
a
already
temperature
been
to
sent
stay home
from school. Yeah, he
they
missed
sent him home.
He missed a week and a half of school, like on and off for this shit.
So
Then he had 104 fever. We go back to the fucking emergency room. They try to give me the runaround there. I about had to beat a bitch's fucking ass.
yeah.
And then they say, oh, it's he had an inner ear infection and some kind of viral shit that they didn't know what it was.
Yeah, another
gave us
mystery
fucking
virus.
antibiotics for him. Gave us fucking liquid Motrin.
Which is crazy because they said it was viral.
Yeah,
They
gave us
antibiotics.
amoxicillin, gave us Motrin, told us switch off Motrin and Tylenol, which we'd already been doing because we're not fucking retarded. And then a steroid. They gave him a steroid there.
Mm-hmm. And they also said that it was like something that everybody was getting that they couldn't.
And he kept
put
the
their finger
fever
on,
going
basically.
for a few days after that still. And a cough that lasted a long time. And then I got sick.
And you guys heard when she was sick, we talked about the whole house being sick and that it was like some mystery shit. She got sick, and man, people, it lasted like almost 2 months. It's the same cough they described.
It's very dry. I tried to take Mucinex and stuff like that to like hack up whatever.
And there's stuff
Nothing
in there, but
is
the
coming
cough
out.
isn't productive.
But it gave me a hernia.
Yeah, the coughing gave you hernia.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch this at all, you saw me like sick as fuck for like, well, you didn't see me, but you hear me sick as fuck for weeks. I mean, when I was hardly talking, didn't want to talk at all because I felt like I was dying. Then I couldn't talk at all. Coughing till I puke.
I mean, but you didn't really have a sore throat. It was more
started
from the
as
coughing.
a sore throat, but then that went away and the cough never went away.
Like mine started with body aches, being really tired, then the chest, and it was like right around New Year's when I was saying that because of the stomach problem, I was running out of breath. I talked about it at New Year's, but I said I also thought I had something wrong with my chest. And I kept attributing it to, well, I basically quit smoking and went to the vape. Like, maybe that's what it was. But, man, I was kind of bullshitting myself, taking immune boosters. Once you get it in your head that you're sick, you're sick. So I always kind of teach myself that I'm not. But anyways, like, for the timeline, it's like very beginning of the year, I get this shit. Basically tell me it's like a mystery virus. Just go home and take care of yourself. Sound familiar?
Which is what they're telling everybody right now.
And then Micah gets it, deathly ill. I mean, his symptoms were, the first time around, were identical to this virus.
His cough lasted a long time.
We're told, his was bad too. It made me actually really sad when he was coughing at night.
Yeah.
And like, half of his class is wiped out, and they're telling kids, or they're telling parents, yeah, this is going around, it's really bad, we're having to send kids home. So like half his class is wiped out. Then you get it, and it's fucking terrible. He gets it again in the interim. And my oldest son, Donovan, who doesn't live with us, he lives 50 miles away. They told him the same thing. He ended up going in.
He was out of school for like over a week,
And
right?
he's never out of school. And it was a
No.
virus.
They told him it was
He got
bronchitis
pneumonia.
and shit.
He ended up with pneumonia.
Yeah.
I believe it was actually diagnosed as pneumonia. They told him bronchitis at first. I guess it developed into pneumonia. And he just told me the other day that they told him, like, yeah, it's a virus. There's really nothing we can do to treat it. You know, and his cough was horrible.
Oh.
And I mean, you know, I would say like, oh, it's that particular hospital or whatever, but there was different hospitals involved. There's different.
No, my doctor was not. It wasn't at that hospital. It was my doctor. So
yeah, it was all different individuals. And then on top of that, I'm sure he won't mind me mentioning it because he's been writing songs about it and stuff like that. D Menace had that same situation, and his lungs shut down to the point where he had to have somebody bring an oxygen tank over for him.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, beginning at the start of the year,
this is before
and I had
all
fought
the
it up.
quarantine shit.
I believe it was here much longer. I don't know. I'm not sitting here spitting out like conspiracy theories like, oh, it's 5G. Man, I know plenty about 5G. It has nothing to do with it. They don't need to hide that from y'all.
No.
Oh, they passed this bill in the middle of the night. No, man. Number one, y'all are going to find out the next day a bill is passed. Number two, they don't give a shit like whether you see it or not because you're going to know about it and they don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
And also, half of y'all at least is going to be just happy as hell that your fucking internet is fast as hell and not care about any repercussions from that.
To do with it.
So I mean, it's no dumb shit like that. I wouldn't call it like population control or none of that. I mean, even though
until we see street sweepers like fucking Soylent Green, if any of y'all know what Soylent Green is, like I'm about to fucking believe
it's
that
feeling
shit.
a little bit like They Live. But,
yeah.
I mean, all I'm saying is this. I feel like it was here sooner. I don't know if maybe the powers that be, even some of those higher up in the medical community or the scientific community knew about it, figured, okay, we're good. We got this under control, and didn't want to put it out there like that. So the whole narrative that we've been given is bullshit. And, you know, now all of a sudden, I feel like it. And another thing I wanted to say is, and like I said, it's no disrespect to anybody that's gotten it. It's just weird that we were told a lot of the same things, and nobody noticed that once this big thing happened, wait a minute, that's the same stuff we've been saying for, 2 months or whatever, or at least a month and a half. If there was a mystery flu floating around, a real sickness that they couldn't 100% put a name on, they tell you go home, take care of yourself, you get better. Those statistics just get grouped in with the flu.
Mm-hmm.
So what I mean is if you look at the flu statistics this year, I believe that a big chunk of those can be attributed to COVID-19.
Yeah.
Which would mean
we just didn't know we had it.
Now, unless we had a crazy amount of flu deaths compared to other years, this would mean that if you take the numbers that we have right now for COVID-19, you add all of those recovered cases from the month previous, all of a sudden the percentage drops a lot, maybe a little less worry, maybe a little less shutdown. A lot of people are jumping right to shut the whole damn thing down. And I get that because what we're doing right now, a lot of it don't make sense. We can't play solo golf. I mean, but you can go in a grocery store where they don't limit X amount of people can go in at one time and have people reaching over you and shit like that. So I just mean that it doesn't make any sense. It's not consistent.
So, but yeah, I mean, any of you guys that are friends with me on Facebook, I mean, you saw my posts like over the last several months of like how sick I was, like badly sick, and that I didn't know what the fuck to do.
Actually, before the corona thing really blew up, I actually got so frustrated with your sickness that I was like, seriously, we need to go into the hospital because I think you are going to die.
Yeah, it was scary.
It would not go away.
I've never been that fucking sick from a cold.
Just to recap the shit, I believe that everybody here had it way before the thing blew up as a thing. And that would mean statistically that the recovered numbers would be a lot higher. The deaths would be a lot lower. So there should be a little bit less panic if that's true. And as far as like the distancing thing goes and all of that, I believe that if we just keep doing the commonsensical things that we should be doing anyway, yeah. But I'm just saying, I think that as time goes on, it'll look a lot better. I don't think that the answer is doing these nonsensical shutdowns. Like a lot of people say, fine, shut the whole damn thing down. But if you're telling me that you're going to shut the whole damn thing down, we were all too late. We didn't do what we should do. We're all irresponsible. It's going to take 6 months. Let it run its course. And I mean, there is like a runaround when you talk to people about it where they're just regurgitating what they hear in the news and they're using their fear to speak. And I think we touched on this a little bit last week. I mean, what I'm being told basically is that we need to completely separate. People are like, for the love of God, stay home. I'm in the medical profession. And I'm like, wait a minute. So if the only time I go out, I don't come into contact with other human beings at all.
Yeah.
I stay 6 feet or further away. I am no danger to anyone, and nobody's a danger to me. So, I mean, I don't need to be told by the government, but it feels like people need like a daddy. They're literally saying, when I was listening to sports radio tonight, same thing I hear when I talk to people online, same thing I hear in person is, well, people don't know how to follow directions, and we're not going to do the right thing, and Americans are so privileged, or whatever the word is that they was using, entitled, and they're just going to, God, I've even heard words like incorrigible. It's things you would use about a bad child. They're using it on themselves when they say us. And I'm like, well, speak for your fucking self. I'm not on a beach hugging up with nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like they was doing down in Florida.
No, and I'm not giving no fucks about no festivals getting canceled and shit. The only
Right.
thing about that bothers me is the people that I know and love that work in that industry, and I pray for y'all because I know that shit sucks. You guys are out of work and stuff,
Yeah.
just like a lot of
It's
people.
impactful.
Like, I feel for you guys a lot because I know how hard you guys work your asses off, and that's your whole life and your money. But you festival goers, quit the fuck crying and shut up about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous, honestly. If
Like,
you're just
seriously, the rave parties and the other parties and all that shit will still fucking be there. Quit
No
trying to
shit,
throw
the whole
underground
party's
parties
silly.
and fucking, we
That's
should
retarded.
take underground raves back and this, that, and the other. Shut up. Most of y'all weren't even around for that shit anyway. I wasn't fucking in the 90s rave scene.
Yeah.
So just stop.
But I believe that we had it. I believe that we had it early. And the more people I talk to, leave a comment if you had a similar sickness about a month before anybody was reported to have COVID-19 here. I'm trying to see something.
Yeah.
Because every time I comment this somewhere, there's 4 or 5 people that are like, yeah, I was. And, sometimes I'll actually go back, look at their timeline and see that they were talking about how sick they were and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, that checks out. But in the same thread where somebody's saying, I got 5,000 friends, do any of my friends have it? Don't tell me if your cousins, babies, daddies, whatever. Do you have it? Or do you or your immediate family have it? Nearly all crickets, but there's a lot of people who were sick the month before. That means we was beating it.
And
That means we can beat it, and that means that the numbers are lower. Now, that does mean it lingers, and it spreads.
so be careful,
So be
take your
very
precautions, be safe, people, do what you feel you need to do. Stop harassing other people for dumb shit because it's fucking stupid. Just do what the fuck you feel you need to do. If you have to go somewhere, you have to go somewhere, whatever, do it responsibly.
Right.
Like, stop being fucking like you're trying to be the government over people too. Like, just worry about your family, yourself, your own health.
Right.
Take care of yourselves. And if you are sick, and if you do know someone who actually has it, or you actually have it, or whatever, I'm praying for you guys. I'm praying for anybody who is out there anyway. I'm praying for the world during this time because it sucks and we're all scared. So stop making everybody else more scared. Just take care of yourselves.
Right. Yeah, the last thing I was going to say on that, as far as when we say stop making people feel like you're the government, or like I said, like people need a daddy or something. Like, the people I'm talking about are, if I were to go on Facebook and say, and I basically said this, I practice social distancing, I'm sanitizing everything, I don't come in contact with other human beings, but I'm going to go take care of this, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to, jog.
Yeah, it doesn't mean we're out
and then
going
they jump on
partying
me
and
like,
shit.
you're part of the problem. It's like, no, I'm not. You're an idiot. And I hate to say it, but it's like nurses and stuff like that telling me this, and that makes me have no faith in our medical system, none. So I just think that, like I've said from the beginning, I think that we have a really good chance of beating this. I just believe we are doing better with it than the numbers that you're seeing will tell you.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying there's a conspiracy behind it, but I do believe that with what was going on with all these all these reported sicknesses that were kind of like mystery illnesses that were being called a virus, I feel like somebody had to know what was coming, and maybe there was a delayed,
delayed reaction.
delayed relaying of information.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm gonna say about that. That's our personal experience with it.
Yeah, it's our personal experience, personal opinion. So
right,
we're entitled to that. Anyways,
leave your comments below, even if you're angry. Or,
leave whatever comments you want.
Yeah,
we're interested. We're interested to hear what your standpoint on it is. Either way, so that's what this is about.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's Flow Face Off time, isn't it?
Flow Face Off.
All right, so
last week we had
lighten the mood a little bit.
Yeah, Tupac moved on last week.
What a shock there! Like he was.
Yeah, he was head to head with Jay-Z, I believe, and barely won.
Shit.
No, he did barely win.
I know.
You're the one that rated him.
That's because I didn't know. I can't believe I didn't know Lost ones.
Anyway, all time. But that's just whatever.
That's
on to the next thing. Pun beat out. Who did he beat out lyrically? Fuck it.
Oh, it was Eminem.
Oh yeah. Pun beat out Marshall. That's right.
Which should always be true.
Yeah.
Well, not always, but sometimes. Oh.
And I somehow beat out El's High. All right. So here's what we gotta do. The first round is going to. I didn't give it a cute little name this time. It's kind of like, basically same era, or real close to the same era. One's from one coast, one's from the other. So we'll go like this, and I'll get to it because I'm exhausted.
I'm exhausted too. I need to go to bed.
God body with an extra long shotty who smoke a dime, a black mixed with a little Jumanji. Brothers get quiet when the gods start rhyming, kid. You don't need a clock to know what motherfucking time it is. See me now, see me later. Sundew Juice, Hero, and some now and laters. I'll leave it at that.
4.
Okay, 4. That's a quick answer.
Who's that?
I don't say till after the round is over, but it's more fun for the viewers, man. It's all about the viewers. Now, how can I explain how this game laced me? Plus, with this fame, I got enemies do anything to break me. My attitude changed. Got to the point where I was driven 24/7. Money's my mission. Just a brother trying to make a living. These buster tricks don't want no mail. They spending their riches on scandalous bitches who will stay petrified in jail.
Damn, I like that one.
Yeah, that much?
Yeah, it's a 5. I like that a lot.
Wow.
I like the lyrics.
That was Pac's Heavy in the Game over Sean Price's Paprika.
Damn, man. See, I love both. I knew the song.
From this, Tupac's fucking wordplay and his inner line rhyming, which is like like the rock.
What Pac song was that?
It's Heavy in the Game.
Okay.
It's,
all right.
I forget which album it's from, but it's kind of like mid to late career, but his career is short anyway.
Okay. All right.
I forget what fucking album it doesn't matter. Anyway.
And I love
all
Sean
I'm saying
Price.
is that Pac is surprising you a little bit, like on a lyrical tip, right? Like you always think heartfelt shit, all of that, but I'm saying with the more, a little bit better with the syllables.
I didn't even know that was Pac right off rip.
Yep,
The first,
so you got Pac winning again.
First one, I knew like the lyrics, I could recognize them somehow, but I didn't know for sure what it was at all. And I love Sean Price, but yeah, it was really good.
I mean,
too.
like we always say, like
really
maybe
good.
It wasn't, somebody's best verse.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite.
Or whatever. I mean, we just do the contest thing for fun. Like just about everybody we put in here is like equally great, to be honest.
Oh yeah. Well, not everybody.
You know what I mean? Okay, so next round is what is the best way to describe this one? This is kind of like last week we had the lyrical atmospherical fucking this is kind of like the straight up kind of battle style MCs. It's hard to explain how my squad can harbor the strain of being the largest name in rap since the almighty Kane. Acknowledge the fame, my college terrain was the rugged streets, from Harlem to Queens back to the Bronx who fathered the dream. Started this thing called rap where I reign supreme, my team, regardless of that, I've seen things as far as a crack that'll make the largest artist's heart just collapse.
That's a 5.
Woo! That gets the Ric Flair. Woo! That right there is ill, man. Like that.
How about
To be honest,
lost my breath listening to that?
is an MC. Yeah, see, that's crazy when you lose your breath listening to it. You know what I'm saying? Like that right there is like kind of the kind of verse that I aspire to when I'm writing.
that was dope.
It had the visuals. It had
the storytelling,
the
but like,
multi-syllable rhymes,
but not too wordy, not too much,
it wasn't over rhyme. Yeah,
and no
not too
bullshit rhyming. It was like real rhyming. Like
It's another one of those where the person says their name.
okay.
Okay. Maybe start. Yeah, I'll stay there. They ask me why I'm highly regarded. This god body probably. I'm a mixture of Marcus Garvey, Miles Davis, and Bob Marley. Radical. Never skateboard slang like gnarly. More like weed in my whip on the way to get top like Charles Barkley. You are hardly prepared to spar with a marksman. Spark me. I'm Gambit with the ace of spades, a master in archery.
Ooh, I like it. I'm gonna give it a 4 though.
Okay.
It wasn't on par with the first one.
So we have, that was Big Pun's What You Gonna Do was the first one.
Okay, I knew
Over
it was.
top of Pharoah Monche's Assassins with Royce and Jean Grey.
Okay, I knew it was pun. I,
mean,
knew the
Monche
first
is
one was
usually-
pun. I love Pharoah Monche. I love Pharoah Monche quite a
I like
bit.
that I'm Gambit with the ace of spades,
Yeah.
master in archery.
No, I love Pharoah Monche. I give him mad props for sure. But I gotta
Archery.
give yeah. I gotta give pun that one for sure. Got you.
Yeah, I agree. That
I like
Pun
both
verse is
songs
crazy.
for sure.
Like I
but-
said the other time,
Oof.
go back and download that Endangered Species. It's mostly like features and shit like that. It's stuff that, you know, didn't come out on the first album and maybe didn't get finished, but oh my god, it's crazy.
I kind of want to listen to Agent Orange now by Pharoah Monche. There's a big ass cat in our yard. Look at you see it? Okay, this is random people, but there's a big ass cat in our yard. Can you all see it?
No.
Right there, he's at the bowl. He's eating
Oh,
the
I can't see that.
Oh, he's eating the pizza. It's a white cat. You can't see that cat.
I can now.
You're gonna scare it away. Yeah, there's a cat in the yard. We don't have a cat.
What you doing in that bowl?
Oh, he's cute. Oh, he ran. I told you he'd run. Aw.
Little bino ass cat.
Poor
Brother
little-
Ali looking cat.
Hey now. Love Brother
Oh
Ali.
shit. Alright.
Sorry guys, I got excited for a minute.
Okay. This last one.
He's eating out of my squirrel
So
food.
we have pun moving on and Pac moving on. This one's interesting. Higher than a satellite, crawling like a baby, maneuvering through the traffic like I'm Tracy McGrady. Still chopping on them buttons, I'm strutting and looking fresh. Switch hitting like Berkman, this is balling at its best. In that Minute Maid dropper with retractable roof, finer than wood, waving the hood, student loans on the tooth.
That reminds me of like something Joel Ortiz would fucking say.
Oh, it ain't that
But-
cold.
No, I know. I'm just saying like the Tracy McGrady thing and
Oh,
stuff. Like,
yeah.
it kind of reminded me of like a Sing Like Bilal Joel Ortiz line. It was good though.
The only thing that, and I understand what he was going for on this, but I don't like switch hitting like Berkman. Now, I like Lance Berkman, but when I hear switch hitting, I'm like, pause. Like, actually a really heavy pause.
Well, that's
But
just,
I'll say it again. Higher than the satellite, crawling like a baby, maneuvering through the traffic like I'm Tracy McGrady. Still chopping on them buttons, I'm strutting and looking fresh. Switch hitting like Berkman, this is balling at its best.
I mean
In
it's
that Minute Maid dropper with retractable roof, finer than wood, waving the hood, student loans on the tooth. That last verse, though.
it's all right. Yeah, it's all right. But like, I mean, rating it like I was rating the other ones, I'm gonna give it a 3.5 though.
Yeah, I mean, compared to the ones that. Yeah.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I can't rate
That's
it up
me.
there with a 4 or a 5 or
Uh,
anything like that.
Here, this will tell you. Oh, I can't say who it is yet. Never mind. It's in the next line, but I hate it when that happens. So I gotta like the N word. I gotta replace real quick with brothers
Or
what I'm reading,
Ninja.
and- yeah, I don't do Ninja.
Well, whatever, man. Whatever we can replace it with, because you know we ain't saying that shit.
Oh shit, it's gonna be hard to read. Okay. Spraying at they head Sassoon, the gauge up in their face nitrous, clack clack boom, ain't no language after engagement, silence. Fuck addiction and social media, circle jerk club addiction. Come to where you got your crumbs and collapse your lungs, fuck dissing. No days ain't did a drug or drink in 404 days, stacking Pringles off the single, and y'all got no lays. I'm what you portray. I'll just leave it right there. Or this bum's bridge card coated in cocaine. He won't breathe, nose pain, no shave. Ayo. Okay, I'll stop there.
I like the lyrical content on that a lot. I'm going to give it a 4.
That's my shit.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I thought it sounded kind of cannabis-y for a second.
Cannabis-y?
Just for a second.
Oh, shit. That's going to be hard to read. Okay. Spraying at they head Sassoon, they gauge up in their face nitrous, clack, clack, boom, ain't no language after engagement, silence, fuck addiction, and social media, circle jerk, club addiction, come to where you got your crumbs and collapse your lungs, fuck dissing. No days ain't did a drug or drink in 404 days, stacking Pringles off the single, and y'all got no lays. I'm what you portray. I'll just leave it right there. Or this bum's bridge card coated in cocaine. He won't breathe, nose pain, no shave. Ayo. Okay, I'll stop there.
I like the lyrical content on that a lot. I'm going to give it a 4.
That's my shit.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I thought it sounded kind of cannabis-y for a second.
Cannabis-y?
Just for a second. Why is that not... What's wrong with that? I like cannabis.
Because it don't... Well...
Just for a second, it reminded me of cannabis.
I mean, that's a compliment lyrically. Shit. I mean, you know, I just thought it didn't sound like him that much. No, this is from the second Griselda freestyle I ever did on Bang.
Oh, okay.
The one that had Eminem on it.
Oh.
That was actually the one, when I go into the drug use and all of that, that's kind of like a diss to somebody, if you remember.
Yep, I do.
Yeah, okay. So, moving on to next week, we've got Big Pun, Tupac, and myself, and I'm seriously running out of lyrics that I can do that you won't know, and not just that you won't know, but that I'll have printed out, and, you know, I don't know my shit by heart, so, you know, that's how I gotta do it. And, like, I'm not trying to say all my shit that ain't released yet either, so.
No.
But that closes the
Flow Face Off.
And what we going to, man?
Right before we, you know, wrap this up so we can go to bed because I'm fucking exhausted and hateful as I always am. You haven't given a random fact in a while, so you got a random fact for anybody or what?
Yeah. My first hip-hop concert ever. This dates me a little bit. But, man, back in the day, Four Bears Water Park, which don't even exist anymore.
There was a really awesome rave there before, if y'all ravers remember.
Yeah, it is kind of famous for that. They used to have these big concerts that were all ages, where all you had to do was give a few cans, you had to give a few canned goods, and you got in. So my homeboy's mom drove us all the way up there and shit, and then I went with a different friend, and then I don't even remember who the fuck I went with later, but they did this for like a few years at least. And God, this is like way back when the hip-hop station was a different station and shit. They really did play hip-hop, and the first concert was Crisscross, Run DMC, Crisscross, Run DMC, Arrested Development, and there was one other one. Damn. Oh, KMF.
Jeez.
KMF is gonna rock you. No, but there was like 6 acts. They did this all the time. Like, they would even mix like rock acts and shit like that in there. It was like, I almost want to say it was called Summer Jam, but there'd be more than one. But there's like one big one, I believe. And if y'all remember that, like, drop something in the comments. Or if you had like a similar concert for your first, not even just hip hop, but your first like big concert, almost like spoiled you. And I mean, like, y'all can say what you want about Crisscross, but I was like 11 or some shit, you know, or maybe I was like 12 or 13. I don't know how the fuck old I was, but I was really young. I wasn't really hyped for them. I was honestly hyped for Run DMC. That was when they did Down with the King, and that was like one of my favorite beats I've ever heard in my life. There's just something about that melodic.
That's a good one.
Man, that instrumental was amazing. And, you know, years later, I finally learned what I was rapping along with. I mean, I think I kind of knew, but it was about God. You know what I'm saying?
Rev Run.
Yeah, I think it's like the first time that we knew that he was going on that path, maybe. And I believe that is kind of, what's his name did that? I think Pete Rock did that beat. Yeah, he might be on a remix of that. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, KMF was live as shit.
I bet.
That KMF is gonna rock you. And they did 3 a.m. Eternal. Like that. That shit was really
All that
dope.
shit is still heavy on my
School
playlist.
dances, yo, like the school dances, like. So I just wanted to give that random fact that, like, I mean, it was a live ass show of totally commercial acts
That were great.
I think that's another reason why older heads don't like the current like every era has its kind of like straight up like radio rap that everybody that's true school calls whack. You know what I'm saying? It's in every generation. You can't get away from it. But
they're not always whack though.
no, you look back on it and you go, you know, them cats
They
was
were
actually
actually
alright.
alright.
You know what I'm saying? Especially when you start hearing, the new shit and you're like, oh, and
Bring them back.
Right, bring them back. Like Nelly, you are allowed to come back.
Bring back Lil Wayne.
Ja, you can come back. No, Wayne started this shit, but I'll get on that fucking shit at a different time. But I mean, as far as that goes, my whole thing that I was gonna say real quick, because it wasn't even part of what I was gonna say, but it just kind of like popped in my head thinking back on that concert when I'm like a young ass, like damn near prepubescent kid, like looking at girls like, what are those? You know what I'm saying? Like, but the commercial stuff that we always dissed in almost every generation was upbeat dance club shit. So and I understand that like it ain't about dance clubs and all that now, and it's more about like zoning out on drugs and all that shit in a different way.
Trap.
Right. And I get all that.
Put y'all heads in a damn bear trap.
But what I mean is that like the upbeat, like make your body move shit will last.
That'll never die.
Yeah, it never dies. Like you know what I'm saying? Like some of those artists, like believe me, people, we called them straight up fucking whack 6 months after maybe they dropped, or even when they dropped, we called them fucking whack. But for a minute, it was like, whoa. Now you hear them again, your body starts moving, and that's what I'm saying. Like there's melodies in the new shit, but there's nothing makes you want to dance.
Shit, we had this conversation with DJ Assault when he was in our car.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, me and him came to the conclusion. Well, I think we said at the same time, it's dance music.
It's party music, yeah.
Yeah, you can sit there and like call it all these sub-whatevers, but it's just dance music. And trap music doesn't have that.
And guarantee if that stuff comes on at a club now, you are getting the fuck down to it.
Maybe that's why, like Cardi, I mean, she has good writers and shit, and she has like a whole personality thing, but
no, I can't
her and a couple others do have the shit you can play in a club.
Yeah, they got club joints.
And you can like sing
I
along
don't necessarily like it, but they do got club joints.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I think that the beat is missing, I'll call it.
Yeah, it's like
that makes you want to dance.
People talk shit about like the Tech 9. This type shit make the hood go crazy. Come on, if that comes on in the club, you are dancing your ass off. I don't care who you are.
Cheesy shit, like I love it, like all of that.
Yeah, Go Getter, I'm dancing my ass off.
Oh yeah, Go Getter's my shit too.